All 24 naval stats explained as quickly as I can. Viewing a ship's designer displays the stats on the ship. I'll briefly explain column by column what each stat does. The max speed determines, well, the max speed a ship can travel on the open seas. This determines the speed you move while traveling between sea tiles, engaging, and retreating. The range determines how far away from a port a ship can perform a mission. Ships can still technically pass between tiles not in the range if it means they're traveling to another port. The organization of a ship determines its fire rate and movement speed in battle. As the organization decreases, so does its rate of fire and movement speed, decreasing its DPS and increasing its chance to be hit in battle. The HP is how much damage the ship can take before it sinks. The reliability determines the chance of the vessel suffering a critical hit if damaged. It also determines the chance for an accident when traveling through mined waters or while naval exercising. The supply use determines how much supply it consumes from a port. The manpower is how many men are needed to deploy the vessel. A ship's light attack is the amount of HP damage your light batteries will do when targeting a screen ship. Your light attacks can pierce through. The value is the average of the piercing of all of your light batteries. Similarly, your heavy attack is the amount of HP damage your heavy batteries will do when targeting capital ships, and your heavy piercing is the armor value you could pierce through. Both values are calculated the same way. The torpedo attack determines how much damage will be dealt if torpedoes launched from the ship reach their target. The depth charges stat determines how much damage can be done to submarines that have been spotted by the ship. The amount of armor your ship has reduces the damage the ship takes if hit by a shot that cannot pierce it. Similarly to how armor works in tanks, if a ship has an armor advantage, it will also be able to attack more often in combat, increasing its DPS. The amount of anti-air a ship has determines how effectively it can shoot down enemy naval bombers participating in the battle. On carriers, the deck space stat determines how many planes can operate off of the carrier. The fuel usage determines how much fuel is used during missions, moving, or exercising. A ship will consume 2.4 times its fuel usage per day when moving or performing a mission, but only 1.4 times this value when exercising. The surface visibility determines how difficult it is to spot the ship, as well as how easy it is to hit the ship. The higher the value, the bigger the ship, so the easier it is to spot and shoot. The surface detection determines how effective this ship is at spotting enemy vessels. A ship can only engage in battle once it has spotted something to shoot. On submarines, the sub-visibility stat determines how easy it is to spot the submarine. On other ships, the sub-detection stat determines how effective this ship is at spotting submarines. The mine-laying stat determines the rate at which it can lay mines, and the mine-sweeping stat, the rate at which it can sweep them. The weather penalty stat determines what percent of the base modifier the ship suffers when passing through extreme weather. It's a pretty irrelevant stat because I don't actually think there is a way to change it. There's no tech, mile upgrade doctrine, or political advisor that I know of that can reduce it. Thanks for watching, and subscribe if you learned something.